and welcome to the Mind Garden. So today we're going to be exploring why the Mind Garden is called the Mind Garden. So a lot of the inspiration came from books like this. The Book of Secrets. In the East, it's known as the Vigyan Ved of Tantra. It's 112 techniques that explore the very reality that we create using the referencing systems on board. And what I mean by that is our belief systems is probably the easiest way to simplify it. But once again, let's come back to the reason why I've made this little video is to describe and almost explore how I came to this. So let's take, for instance, our mind. I call that the mindscape. And so you can already start to see the mind garden, yeah? Greenery, nature. So mindscape came from landscape. So now let's take, for instance, thoughts. Thoughts are seeds. Every thought that we have is being planted within our mindscape. Just like the landscape, nature, pollinates. So do we. We get pollinated by mental impressions. And then what tends to happen, whether now this is the most important and interesting part, I'd say, is we have up to 60,000 thoughts a day on average. So now you imagine, we can't be organizing every single thought, can we? Now, just like a computer, a desktop, your filing system, things need to be organized in a clear and concise way. And so now you imagine we have these 60,000 thoughts a day. It's going to be nearly impossible to organize everything. So there must be this subconscious organizing itself into, priority data, non-priority data, meaningful. Was it meaningful or not? Was it just time pass information? But once again, 60,000 thoughts. So now we're going to on the Mind Garden platform, I'm going to be aiming to bring you book reviews, lots of resources that will help you to cultivate your mind using organized thinking. So the very phenomenal organized thinking comes from another book, and that book is called How to Own Your Own Mind. It's a question and answer format. It's Dr. Napoleon Hill interviewing Andrew Carnegie. And that book has massively changed my life. It's enabled me to come in front of a camera and organize what I'm going to say, because the very fact that we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and I'm going to help you, myself, and others to organize those thoughts into a way that we're not having our minds cultivated for us. It's free thinking, because a lot of the time we don't realize, but we cultivate belief systems that almost can sometimes be contradictory to the way what your essence, the way, because I've started to learn a little bit of self-love, a little bit of let's say awareness. I think self-love came after the fact that I woke up. I needed to wake up because I've got kids and you need to teach them something. And it can't just be mainstream education. You aim to try and teach them what is humanism. What is humanism? How to connect. I'm a cricket coach. That's how I've got this little bit of ability to come on and talk about the Mind Garden and create tools, the mindfulness. It's come from the art of communication, and that's come from repetitions, practice. I've been doing nets every week for the last 20 years. Can't believe time's flown. It scares me, but I'm not going to think about that too much right now. However, it's repetitions. They say 10,000 hours is a mastery, but back to the point now, mindscaping. I really want you to digest that phenomena of mindscaping, because that's something I really want to use for myself, because I've been going through a lot of suffering. And I think somebody said to me today, when you're down, nobody's going to pick you up. And it's important nobody picks you up. You pick yourself up. And it's so important. That's where these mindfulness tools are going to be so important. So important. Because there is no life without suffering. At some point, you're going to suffer. So you're going to need tools, resilience tools. And that comes under mindfulness. So once again, this is just an introduction and into why the inspiration behind why the Mind Garden is called the Mind Garden. So we're going to create mind cultivation tools. And this is not brainwashing. This is just to help you organize your own thinking This is not me telling you about phenomena that I want you to believe. I'm going to try and teach tools for simplification, tools for awareness. That's all I'm about. I don't make any content myself. I'm going to be sharing other people's content, the stuff that's helped me to make sense of this very complex reality that we live in. Emotional intelligence is the thing I'm going to leave you on. Emotional intelligence is a big thing that I'm working on for myself. And I think, once again, self-love comes under this emotional intelligence. First, you have to cultivate a sense of emotional intelligence through awareness. And so this is where, for me, it's important to talk out loud to other people, because right now there are not enough platforms for talking authentically. There's a lot of, it feels like we're already manufactured to speak certain things, and it's the mainstream. That's something I've got to prepare a talk for. However, for me, it's about transcending mental slavery. So I think that's the summary of it, and that's where emotional intelligence tools come in to free you of mental slavery. And so on that note, I'm going to bring it all the way back to mindscaping. And remember, thoughts, the thoughts, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. Each one is a seed being planted into your mindscape. So this is where we've got to cultivate an authentic reality rather than a cultivated by some other system reality. And that's where the matrix comes in, but let's save that one for another day. And remember, matrix was inspired by a Buddhist text. How cool is that? How cool is that? But we've got to share that. That's going to be another video altogether, because otherwise I'm going to be going on a tangent, and that's not great. Because for me, organized thinking, being clear and concise is the essence of being a good communicator. And there's going to be some new videos coming up too, because I run a little agency, a web design marketing agency called Website Guru, and I've learned a lot of skills. So I call myself an educator because I've got the XP, which is experience points. And that's where people reaching middle age shouldn't be stressed out. They've accumulated XP points. You can't buy those on a MasterCard. You cannot buy those on a MasterCard. And if you're aware enough, you can help others around you, because there's not enough time in this life to make all the mistakes. Our communities need healing. This is why the Mind Garden Project is really important to me. I want to unite the tribes, bring the power back to the people. And this is not me trying to create just a freedom movement. This is something that needs to be done so we can heal ourselves as a society. Because right now we're in a really pretty bad place. I mean, we've got all the technology out there, but as a species right now, we're killing the earth, we're killing each other. There's no other species that's killed 100 million of its own for no reason whatsoever, other than some lines on a map, really, I suppose, and assets, when there's plenty of resources on this planet. So our species, because of the mind masculine driven policies, and that's once again another video, because right now we are living in an alpha male world. It's driven by alphaism. Old ancient spirituality and religions had deities, and right now women are having to refight for their rights. So let's look at history as well if you want to really wake yourself up. But again, a little bit of a tangent, but it's also a little bit of a trailer, I suppose, a little dangling of the carrot for what's to come on the Mind Garden. I want to really wake people up, but I don't want to make these videos too long. I want you to help share these videos. This is not being a conspiracy theorist or creating a cult. This is just me trying to create systems to help myself first and others free themselves of mental slaveries. I don't want anything else. I don't want to create a movement. Right now, it's just about healing people, healing myself, and healing those around me. So on that note, peace, love, respect. Get out there, lifelong learning. Please share if you found this resourceful, and get in touch if you feel like coming on board this podcast, having a chat about spirituality, mindfulness. I'd love for that. So reach out. Thank you very much for your time.